Based on the three scenarios, we have identified three strategies we would recommend for consideration: data literacy training, collaborative data teams, leadership in data use, and including leadership in building a comprehensive data use culture. Recommendations are also provided regarding the advantages of considering benchmark and interim assessment data as part of an integrated data strategy. Our scenario identified the potential for data literacy training to lead to improved overall performance. Improving training will improve the quality and quantity of data collected as teachers understand how to collect from a variety of sources such as traditional or iPad data. Leaders with more readily available data will make use of this to make decisions based on evidence, leading to improvements in school performance in various areas such as teaching and learning, administration, and support. The DataWise project is an organization that has been developed in the USA to support schools and universities to use data as an effective reporting, assessment, and strategy process. The organization has created a framework for successfully developing a culture of data use called the DataWise Improvement Process. The DataWise Improvement Process is an example of training that has been successful in improving data literacy and collaboration, which could be adapted for the school. The process is divided into three organizational phases: prepare, inquire, and act. Schools that have used this process report improved change management and a more effective culture regarding using data and collaborating. The methods that teachers learn to use data is not clearly defined, as there are few examples of strategies that focus on building the teacher's ability to understand and use data. The ability to learn as an adult learner is most effective through peer support and interactions with other teachers and specialists. The difference in current collaboration is seen when comparing educational professional development and data-specific professional development. Staff professional development is traditionally very strong, with teachers interacting with a wide variety of staff members for guidance on subject, education, management matters. Advice is provided by people from a variety of high and low levels of authority and decision making. Professional development usually has a good variety of structured and informal advice networks. When seeking advice on data gathering and use, teachers commonly find very few avenues. Many teachers, coaches, and administration staff are not confident or familiar with the data processes. The majority of advice givers tend to be in leadership positions too. Teachers are commonly not confident in using data either. Network density is the measure of how much interaction occurs between a teacher and their sources of advice. General professional development networks are dense as the amount of quality of collaboration is very high. Good advice networks provide a format to share practices, problems, and quickly spread new learning throughout the teaching group. If the school manages to diversify the sources of data-specific advice giving, this will improve data sharing through collaboration. The formation of network improvement communities is one of the many strategies to create effective data advice networks. Networked improvement communities are groups created to develop and implement a process in the environment. The aim of the community is to have results quickly, such as to develop a new syllabus or teaching how to use data effectively across the teacher group. Fast collaborative learning would be ideal to keep up with the pace of online and iPad software applications. A community needs to have representation from all parties that are involved in making final decisions to approve a process, and all stakeholders that are affected during the development and implementation. School leadership is commonly cited as the most important factor in both using data and in implementing ICT education programs effectively. The way that ICT is implemented plays a major role in its long-term success in the school. Educators and students need to be adequately prepared to integrate the new systems in the learning curriculum. The correct infrastructure must be in place. For example, internet connections must be able to handle increased data traffic. Teachers must also be prepared and skilled to use the new applications and data. There must also be technical support available so that teachers and students are not faced with ICT or data failures. School leadership should also support ICT and data at all levels to improve data use and better ICT implementation. When planning the overall curriculum, schools that integrate ICT and data in their planning show improved educational outcomes. Good school leadership helps to devote good long-term strategies to implement assessment data use and implement ICT-based teaching and learning. The following strategies have proven to develop long-term effective ICT and database teaching. The school should focus on building the teachers' ICT skills so that they can use data and ICT programs effectively. This will also lead to improved attitudes towards data and ICT. Professional development must also be aimed at using data effectively and implementing ICT better. School leadership should support to improve data use and to improve the ICT implementation throughout the school. Lastly, finding ICT and data champions such as students or teachers that are highly skilled in applications will help support the strategy. Schools that invest in long-term data literacy and ICT skill development are more likely to have successful data-driven programs. A key role in the culture of effective and consistent data use. To develop a culture of effective data use in an organization, to work on the following 5 elements. School leaders must guide staff members on how teachers are going to be supported. ICT and record-keeping systems must be developable and usable by educators. For long-term data use, training and procedures must be in place so each understand how it will drive long-term strategy. Teachers and administrators must learn how to use different data systems, and have support in place such as mentoring and continual professional development to understand how to use data effectively. Leadership teams must also support the culture of data use in planning, communicating regularly about the data strategy. Supporting data must be focused on learning outcomes. Implementing data in the school would require to perform self-assessment to establish the current level of data use in the learning strategy, then create data development and communication strategies. School leadership would also need to implement regular data coaching and mentorships and include data use for educators' professional development. Should also the type of assessments that are collected and used to measure progress. Benchmark data tends to include standardized assessments provided to a large body of students. The most common example in Australia is the NAPLAN tests, which are administered in years 5, 7 and 9 to measure students' fundamental literacy and numerical. At the time of this modelling, the school made use of mostly NAPLAN results as a key assessment measure of students. As a measuring tool, results are commonly seen as a method to measure a school's performance and less effective as a way to measure an individual student's performance. By analysing the scenarios above, the school should make use of more interim data, operating regular assessment and data collection as part of the iPad program. Using interim assessment activities helps the school to build a picture of an individual student's progress. To make the most effective use of interim assessments, in the iPad program to have regular student assessment across all subjects and learning applications. By using collaborations, the school can combine assessment information from a variety of sources to measure student progress, the effectiveness of applications and the effectiveness of the iPad program as a whole.